That's where our wind couplet here is, where we've got the opposing wind fields coming together, and that is the reason Doppler radar is indicating that possible tornado from the winds that are moving away from and toward the radar, and the opposing colors here tightly packed. That gives a pretty good indication that we've got some rotation that's getting wound up within the storm, and that is why the tornado warning was issued. So this is moving off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. Again, it's a radar indicated tornado. The text here from the National Weather Service in Morristown says the dangerous storm will be near or around Bristol, Virginia at about 4:50, so in about 10 minutes from now, as well as the Abingdon area around 5:10 this afternoon. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Highlander Park, Benhams, and also Holston, and includes Interstate 81 in Virginia between mile markers 1 and mile marker 20. So that is running right up through areas of Washington County, right through here. And it looks like our rotation, as you pointed out, might be pretty close to the Benhams area of Washington County, Virginia.
Right. So this is a radar indicated tornado near Benhams, moving northeast toward Fleeners and also the northern part of Bristol, Virginia, especially.
Yeah.
So everyone in the path of the storm needs to take shelter right now. So the storm track shows it moving close to the exit 7 area, 443, the Old Farm, 448, Virginia Highlands Community College, 455, if it stays on the track. So
zoom in a little tighter to those areas that you were just talking about.
So there's Haskell and Fleeners, the Benhams
so
area.
The exit 7 would be a little bit farther. There's exit 7. We've got, as you mentioned, the Old Farm. So as far as the Bristol area is concerned, it looks like the dangerous part of the storm would be the northern part of Bristol, especially Bristol, Virginia, and closer to maybe the exit 7 area, and then northward up toward Haskell perhaps, and areas near Benhams.
Look at that, Dave. 73-mile-an-hour wind possible.
Right. So that just winds in general as the radar beam intersects the storm and is able to detect the storm direction and speed. And so when we got the green area here and the red area here, it shows the opposing winds that are very tightly wound together here, and that rotation, as you mentioned, that's pretty impressive to have that wind couplet to have the 73-mile-an-hour wind gusts. There's wind speeds detected by Doppler radar. So let's go ahead and talk about some safety things, some safety precautions, some tips that you need to be obviously taking shelter now in your safe place if you are within that tornado warning, which involves a large part of Washington County, Virginia. Take cover now, lowest floor, interior room of your residence, and you still have time now, perhaps if you are traveling or you had plans to travel and postpone those plans, it's best to get inside an interior room. Try to have as many walls between you and the outside of your home or your residence, and a place oftentimes is good to hide or to protect yourself is in a bathroom, perhaps in a hallway, in a closet, maybe get some blankets or some pillows or even a bicycle helmet can oftentimes offer you the protection, because flying debris is dangerous if you are involved with winds that are produced by a tornado. And obviously those winds are very strong, and we do obviously want to stress the importance of taking shelter right now in the Bristol, Virginia area, as well as Washington County, Virginia, because this storm is moving pretty quickly off to the northeast. So if you are living in Rocktown, for example, and Windale here along Windale Road, Abingdon, Virginia, for example, up toward Greendale, this storm is moving in your direction in Washington County, Virginia, and that tornado warning will remain in effect until 5:15. So here's our latest scan, David, right at the velocity, and that is looking pretty impressive right now. So certainly a very dangerous storm, and one that could have a tornado with it right now, and that storm is being warned for until 5:15 this evening. Maybe if we could put another track on here, David, you can talk a little bit about, again, those areas that need to be taking shelter from this storm as it continues to race across northeast Tennessee, or I should say southwest Virginia.
Yeah, this is a tornado warning, a radar-indicated tornado warning for Washington County, Virginia. This does include the northern part of Bristol, Virginia. The strongest rotation is now to the east of Benhams, close to Clear Creek Golf Course, moving north and east toward Withers around 444, so just about now. Greendale around 450. And concerned this might move into the Abingdon area, around to the Virginia Highlands Community College, 454, the airport before that, 451, and downtown at 456. So if you know anybody in the Abingdon area, let them know about this tornado warning and let them know they need to take shelter right now, as this storm has been intensifying and now has a radar-indicated tornado with it. Just on the northern side of Bristol, Virginia, again, near the Clear Creek Golf Course and east of Benhams is where the strongest rotation is right now, Dave.
All right, so there you have it. The tornado warning continues for Washington County, Virginia. And again, we just got a new scan from our Power 5 Doppler radar, still showing some pretty strong rotation within this storm. And zooming in a little tighter here, you can see areas around the Clear Creek Golf Course. There's Wallace Community, northward toward Fleeners in Washington County, Virginia. This is the general area extending through the northern part of Bristol, Virginia, where that possible tornado is occurring currently. And the urgency of this is pretty serious, that you would obviously need to be taking shelter right now in the Bristol, Virginia area, as well as a good portion of the central area of Washington County, Virginia. From Benhams up toward Rocktown, you can see this is where the wind shear is most notable within the storm from the last scan of Power 5 Doppler radar here near Burson Place, extending back toward Haskell and Benhams. But again, this is moving pretty quickly to the east at about 35 miles per hour. So
yeah,
that
this
potential
is
tornado is probably further to the east now as it moves toward areas around the Clear Creek Golf Course and Fleeners. And of course, as fast as it's moving, you might as well just say it's right on top, basically, of Wendell here, Wendell Road, the Virginia Highlands Airport. There is Interstate 81 here, stretching from Abingdon down toward the Bristol, Virginia area and the Old Farm. Some of the landmarks that are going to be involved. Lee Highway, obviously, is running parallel with Interstate 81 as well. The Exit 7 area of Bristol, Virginia, the northern part of the city limits of Bristol, Virginia, right here. And it looks like perhaps just near that point and northward is where that rotation is most notable on our Power 5 Doppler radar. And just show you some of the wind speeds that are being detected within the storm right now as it continues to move off to the east at about 35 miles per hour. Now, that storm is one of several storms. Of course, if you're within this tornado warning, make sure that you are taking shelter right now in your safe place, in your home, in a sturdy structure. But there are other warnings now that are in effect for the Tri-Cities region within northeast Tennessee as well.
Just going to give you a quick update. The Weather Service says the circulation is about 2 to 3 miles northwest of Interstate 81 and traveling pretty much parallel to the interstate.
Right.
So, but yeah, let's head to the south for the other warning briefly.
And this is the severe thunderstorm warning, David, and you can take it from here until 5:15. And this does include the Washington County area, Greene County area, and also into the southwest parts of Sullivan County. So from near Kingsport and Colonial Heights to near Gray, a little bit south and west of the Johnson City area. It does include Jonesboro, Sulphur Springs toward Limestone. Looks like the dangerous part of the storm has moved now to the northeast of Greenville, but Bayleton toward Geraldstown, Fall Branch, Colonial Heights, Sullivan Gardens up toward Bays Mountain into the Kingsport area, and still pretty decent storms also here with not a warning with it, but in eastern Sullivan County from Blountville to Bluff City. But again, the primary danger with any tornadic activity is with the storm that is now over Washington County, Virginia. And tornado warning, if you're just joining us right now, we do have a tornado warning in effect for Washington County, Virginia. This does include area. Now, David had talked about from the National Weather Service, their report was indicating that the rotation within the storm that we're showing you right now was located about 2 to 3 miles to the north of Interstate 81, correct, David?
Yeah.
In Washington County, Virginia, which is about where we're looking right here.
Right. I'll go ahead and measure it. So now it looks like it's about 4 miles. That just got it a lot stronger, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me check the velocity on that. That is concerning on how strong that it looks. So the radar is estimating 76 mile an hour winds close to the Wendell area. It may be aloft. It may not be that strong.
I mean, this is getting,
but still, that would be damaging even at 60 miles an hour.
Exactly. I mean, the radar beam is up pretty high from the Morristown radar at this point, but still, that's significant, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
And there's a pretty high chance that we do have a possible tornado with this storm.
Yeah.
Now moving just north of the Bristol area in Washington County, Virginia.
So this is in the Wendell area around Black Hollow Road, heading toward Rust Hollow, and again, moving toward Abingdon. We'll put another storm track because that looks like a stronger circulation
definitely.
And more concerned that a tornado is on the ground now as it's moving toward Abingdon. So here's the storm track over the next 20 minutes. The updated times shows the Virginia Highlands Airport 4:53.
Right.
We'll be showing you our live camera here there in just a second.
Here's the Virginia Highlands Community College right there.
Yep, 4:56. William King Museum 4:57. Abingdon downtown by 5 o'clock.
And so as it continues to move to the east at 35 more miles per hour, we got the main highway here connecting Abingdon and Greendale, Highway 19, and then into Russell County. But obviously some places to avoid right now as far as the major highways, Interstate 81 and also Lee Highway. And is this Wendell Road right here, David?
Yeah, that's Wendell
Road.
Yeah.
That is also, if you're living along that road, you should be taking shelter as well. There's the Virginia Highlands Airport, and the storm getting closer to Abingdon, obviously, but there's a lot of population running up along this corridor within Washington County, Virginia. So we do want to make sure that you are aware. If you have friends, if you have neighbors, if you have somebody that may not be tuning into this warning and live within Washington County, Virginia, text them, give them a heads up, make sure they're aware that this storm is coming northeast through Washington County, Virginia, heading toward the Abingdon area, and points north also into Washington County, Virginia, near Greendale, Wendell Road area, as well as near Interstate 81, near Virginia Highlands Community College, as well as the Virginia Highlands Airport. So
there's the latest scan there, Dave.
So maybe not. Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty noticeable, don't you think?
Yeah, and it's close to the Virginia Highlands Airport.
Right.
I've got the camera pulled up.
Let's take a look at that.
I'm going to turn. Okay, just a second. I'm going to bring that up.
I mean, we can go to Max 2, perhaps, and show.
Yeah, if it's possible to switch over to Max 2, we can get to it faster.
Take a look at the airport camera from Virginia Highlands Airport. I can see it from here. It looks like some rain is falling.
Here it comes.
Here it comes, all right.
And that's one of the cameras that we can turn, so I'm going to turn it toward the storm.
And
once we get it to load here. I'm gonna work on that here in just a second. Let's recap the warning real quick.
Okay,
Dave.
so we do have a couple of warnings that we want to recap and talk about. The one that has most of our attention and appears to be the most dangerous at this point is the tornado warning that is in effect until 5:15. This does include areas of Washington County, Virginia, up to near the Russell County line. So at this point, the storm that has the possible tornado would be right here, so largely north of the city limits of Bristol, Virginia.
Yeah, they've kind of trimmed that warning down a little bit.
So here would be the northern boundary of of Bristol, Virginia city limits right here. So the storm rotation would be a little bit farther to the north and east as you move through Washington County. But I would say, bullseye areas right here along Windale Road, extending north and east of Bristol toward the Abingdon area, as well as yet to move over Highway 19, but in Washington County, Virginia, between Abingdon and Greendale and the Russell County line. So I would say this general area right through here is where we have the highest probability of a tornado right now. And you can see the strong wind still in play right here.
It looks like this storm is cycling. So on one scan, it looks like it weakens a little bit, and then it gets stronger. So
and that's typical. That happens, and until we see a clear sign that a trend toward weakening is going to happen and continue, this storm obviously remains a very dangerous storm, and you should obviously be in your safe place, taking shelter in your lowest level of your home or residence, and in a central located part of the building of your home, and try to make have as many walls between you and the outside of your home, such as an interior bathroom or a hallway or a closet. So here, David, looks like we might have a pretty good shot of this storm as it's moving just north. It looks like now. Is that north? That's north of the airport, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's moving just north. So there's a live look from the Virginia Highlands Airport.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is an ominous looking sky for sure.
What do you think if you pan back toward the west? What was that's probably the part of I don't want to speculate too much about exactly where that possible tornado is.
Yeah,
but certainly we have some dangerous skies right now near and north of the Virginia Highlands Airport in Washington County, Virginia.
Yep, so the tornado warning continues there. Okay, if it's possible, if we can have Max 1 and Max 2 on the screen at the same time, I'm going to ask our director if that's possible. I'm going to leave the camera on, he's going to work on it here. So if we can have Max 1, and we'll get that to you here in a second. But there's that tornado warning. It's in effect for Washington County.
And so the warning itself continues until 5:15. We've seen little parts of it kind of whittled away on the southwest side. So we can safely say that Bristol, Virginia, no longer within the danger of a tornado, but still a definite danger here extending along Interstate 81 between Bristol and Abingdon, and then extending up just now to near Highway 19, that corridor here through Washington County, Virginia, an area here that would be just to the north of where we were showing you that live feed from the Virginia Highlands Airport. The strong winds here are still indicated, and we got a really tight couplet of the possible rotation within that storm. And if you're getting reports of
it's hitting the airport now. I'm loading the camera again.
Okay.
But the wind's blowing really hard there now.
Okay, so here's a live view here now from the Virginia Highlands Airport, and you can see the rain coming down really hard. It doesn't look like we have a whole lot. Does it look like? Yeah, well, we do have some winds. You can see the sheets of rain right here.
Yeah.
Here on the is that the tarmac or the theirs looks like the runway right through here, but. The rain and the wind obviously is hitting the Virginia Highlands Airport, but it looks like perhaps, David, that where is the airport's about right.
Yeah, let me zoom in.
Yeah,
there it is. Some of the strongest winds right there.
Right through here, and so perhaps right in this zone right through here is probably where we would have that couplet. The rotation within the storm that is producing the possible tornado that is being warned for now in central portions of Washington County, Virginia. But really, everybody in the Abingdon area should be in your safe place right now, extending all the way up from Abingdon up toward Greendale and toward the Virginia Highlands Airport. Of course, we have Johnston Memorial Hospital, which is also in line for that storm as well as it continues to push off to the northeast. So emergency plans probably are underway there as well as the storm continues to move across Washington County, Virginia.
So there's the look at the storm. It's moving through the airport right now. The radar is estimating that we could have some gusts over 60 miles an hour, and it definitely looks pretty strong. And again, this potential tornado is moving toward Abingdon at this time. So everyone in the Abingdon area, if you know anybody traveling around Abingdon, they need to get off the roads right now. Help us spread the word. They can watch our coverage online and also on Facebook, as we are going to stay with this storm until the tornado warning expires. But as we look at that rotation still on the west side of Abingdon right now and moving to the east. So we'll put another storm track on this. So we want to continue to update everyone as this storm is moving to the east pretty quickly. So it is going to be into downtown Abingdon, looks like by 5 o'clock. Abingdon High School, 5:02. At the hospital, around 5:06. And exit 24 by 5:13. So we're still seeing some strong winds with this system. So that's this tornado warning is in effect for the Abingdon area and also around Greendale. This is in effect until 5:15. It's still a radar indicated tornado at this time, Dave.
All right, let's go ahead and give a look, kind of a broad view. Let's pull back a little bit, and then we'll zoom back in. You can see the cluster of storms now impacting the Tri-Cities area. And another thing we want to bring to your attention is the fact that we have another cluster, another area of storms of severe weather beginning to move back in from the southwest, from the Knoxville area, the Smoky Mountains area. Those are pushing to the northeast, and we've gotten some new severe thunderstorm warnings as well for parts of Hancock County and Hawkins County and Greene County and Hamlin County. Those warnings are let's see here. So
the warning, let me zoom in a little bit closer here. Okay, so there's a warning for Sullivan and both Washington counties, a severe thunderstorm warning, that's till 5:45. And the storm over Sulphur Springs, that's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:15. Winds around 60 miles an hour and quarter-sized hail possible. And then even more back to the south and west outside the viewing area, Dave.
Yeah, those are the ones I was talking about that are coming up from the Knoxville area, and those warnings, while not yet into Cobb County and Hamlin and Hawkins County and Hancock County, those storms are coming to the east and coming in from the northeast. So we're likely going to see more warnings propagate up into northeast Tennessee. And those warnings for Sullivan County and also Greene and northern Washington County, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. They extend, for example, two little waves extending from near Benhams again. This is not the tornado warning storm, but tornado severe thunderstorm warning from Benhams down toward the Bristol area and extending into Carter County near Sadie and to near Elizabethton and pretty close to the Hampton area of Carter County, but not within a warning. The other severe thunderstorm that is now moving from near Jonesboro up into the crossings, Interstate 8126 crossing into the Kingsport area. So that storm is moving off to the east, and some of the communities that are within that severe thunderstorm warning, which you can see our storm track right through here between now and about 5:40. Would include the Tri-Cities Airport, Central Heights Elementary School, Blunttville, Piney Flats, Bluff City, into Bristol. That VHS is Virginia High School, the exit 7 area, and again, the old farm. So within the next 45 minutes to an hour, another round of storms is coming into the area that currently has the tornado warning in effect, and that warning still is with us for about another 15 minutes or so for Washington County, Virginia. And you can see, David, still some very notable rotation with this storm as it moves over the Abingdon area currently, around Martha, Washington, the Barter Theater, a lot of historic, a lot of places that people recognize now under the gun in the Abingdon area of Washington County, Virginia. And that storm now also extends east and northeastward up toward Rich Valley Road as well in Washington County, Virginia. David, so right now you would probably say areas west of U.S. Highway 19 are probably out of the woods as far as the tornado is concerned. But here, for example, from let's say Glen Roque Country Club, especially north of Interstate 81, up toward the downtown area of Abingdon, northward, right in this zone here, around Cummings Height, Whites Mill Road. This is the area right now from near Abingdon northward, and you can see we just got a new scan in. So this area is under the gun for that possible tornado. Here is a live look on our Ashley Camera Network of the downtown area of Abingdon. We got Cummings Street. Is that? I'm trying to get my bearings straight here.
It's turned a little bit, okay, but yeah, it's not far from Cummings Street. But you can see that very heavy rain that's coming through right now. So that's a live look at downtown Abingdon. It looks like the worst of the storm is on the north side of town. The city of Abingdon has worked with us to get this camera as part of the Ashley Camera Network, and they are actually searching for the tornado too. They're the ones actually moving this camera right now. We can control it too. They've given us access, but so you can see the storm moving in. You can see on the left side of the screen, not as much heavy rain. A cell phone tower there in the foreground, but that cell moving through. We're looking toward the south there. Okay, so let's go back over to graphics 1, and we'll take a look at where the rotation is the strongest now. Around Whites Mill Road, and that's moving northeast toward Hyder. And actually, it's almost they just issued a new tornado warning, Dave.
Okay.
So let's go back over to graphics 1, go back over to Max 1, and we'll recap this warning. I was wondering if they were going to issue another one, and they have, because this still has a pretty strong rotation signature on it at this time.
Let me get that. Let me get here right off the...
So this new warning includes the Glade Spring area, and this new warning is also for a radar-indicated tornado, eastern Washington County, Virginia, including Emory and Glade Spring until 5:45, Dave.
Yeah, at 5:03, which is just about right now, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicating a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado over Abingdon, like we've been talking. We've been showing the live stream there from the downtown cam, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Again, this is not a confirmed tornado report. We do not have a visual sighting as of yet, and if you get the opportunity to, when it's safe to do so, to relay that information to law enforcement or even here at WCYB, that might help out. But at this point, we want to make sure that you're staying safe until the storm passes. We don't want any dangerous activity on your part to inform anybody. But right now, if you're in the Abingdon, Virginia area, obviously you need to be in your safe place here, at least for the next 15 minutes or so. But the new warning that we're talking about will continue until 5:45, and that does continue eastward through the rest of Washington County, Virginia. So right now the storm is right near and also north of Abingdon, and riding parallel to Interstate 81 and Lee Highway. There's exit 24. Here's Glade Spring, and
looks like it's close to the hospital right now, Dave.
Right.
We're in between radars. When I move here, you see two different color schemes. That's because because we're in between radars, but we can see rotation on both of them, one from Morristown and one from near Blacksburg.
Yeah, and sometimes what makes it tricky for tornadic development to detect it when you have this area kind of right in the middle of two radars is you got the Blacksburg radar, which is kind of getting to its end, its ability to look into storms, and the Morristown radar, and this is kind of where they overlap right here. But still, there's very obvious and very evident signature of rotation right now near Johnston Memorial Hospital in Washington County, Virginia, and that is right along Interstate 81, continuing to push off to the northeast. So I would say basically the dangerous part of the storm is near Interstate 81 and points north. So just a little bit either side, but especially near and north of Interstate 81. And this would be taking it up toward the Meadowview area, Emory and Henry College, also Glade Spring, and then eventually if it holds together, here's the Smith County line right here. So there's Saltville and there's Chilhowie. So this storm is moving across Washington County, Virginia, with that signature of a possible tornado near, let's say, probably to the south of Brumley Gap, obviously, but very close to where Johnston Memorial Hospital is along Interstate 81, where that wind couplet was still showing pretty strong rotation. And that doesn't mean there is a tornado, but that means there's a good possibility that one could form if there isn't one on the ground or a funnel cloud or something like that that's visible. So we can't just so definitively say that there's a tornado with this storm, but certainly it's been holding together ever since the rotation started. When we first brought that to your attention before the tornado warning was even issued, that there was some rotation beginning to show near Mendota. It's been holding together, that rotation, as it's been moving from near Bristol, Virginia, and Mendota up to the Abingdon area. But right now, it looks like the danger of a tornado for the downtown, the city area of Abingdon has now passed off to the east.
That's around Hyder right now, moving close to exit 24.
Right. So still a very dangerous storm. Of course, it was just 11 years ago we had a big tornado event occur across Washington County, Virginia, into Smith County, Glade Spring in that area. You're not trying to say that's going to happen. Hopefully nothing nearly like that. But you folks are extra aware of the dangers of thunderstorms and dangers of tornadoes after that 2011 outbreak, which obviously a lot of our viewing area was impacted by that event. Now, this is a singular event, but nonetheless, just takes one tornado to cause damage and harm. So we want you to take seriously this storm as it continues to move along Interstate 81 between Abingdon and the Glade Spring truck stop right now is where that storm, you mentioned Hyder, correct, David?
Yeah.
Where that circulation was most likely over right now.
And Weather Service just telling us that they still don't have any confirmed reports of a tornado, but based on the velocity signature, the rotation of the storm, they're continuing the warning.
And for good reason as well. But this is moving right along that Interstate 81 corridor, which is a heavily traveled thoroughfare, and hopefully people, if you're driving, sometimes you don't know that this is happening, but like we've been talking about, if you have friends or family or somebody that might be living, closer to Glade Spring or Meadowview, Emory Henry toward Chilhowie, that this storm is coming your way.
And so the worst of the storm right here, the tornado warning for eastern Washington County until 5:45. I also want to mention a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Smith County, including Marion. At this point, they're saying a tornado is possible, but they haven't issued a tornado warning for Smith County as of yet.
So this is kind of like a heads up for Smith County. It's not there yet, but the National Weather Service in Blacksburg, Virginia, which has Smith County in its jurisdiction, if you will, going ahead and doing the right thing, I would say, and issuing that warning before it even gets into Smith County, and they're doing it with a severe thunderstorm warning. If that rotation continues, it's quite possibly that severe thunderstorm warning would have to be upgraded to a tornado warning. But right now, for Smith County, severe thunderstorm warning in advance of this storm as it moves up through eastern portions of Washington County, Tennessee.
So
Virginia.
Yeah, Washington County, Virginia. So let's look back in time. So this was at 4:30, about the time that we were talking about the possible rotation. Then notice how it's been cycling. Sometimes whenever you have the brighter greens and the brighter reds next to each other, that's when it's more likely to be a tornado. So we've seen this storm kind of cycle up and down, get stronger and then weaker, stronger than weaker. But still looks like the possible rotation is just northeast of Johnston Memorial Hospital, close to Hillman Highway, heading toward exit 24 and around Emory and Henry if it holds together. Again, we don't have a confirmed tornado on the ground, but we do have a radar indicated tornado at this time moving through Washington County.
Okay, so let's go ahead and put the reflectivity product back on here and maybe do a storm track here so it can, give our viewers a heads up here where it's traveling along that Interstate 81 corridor and some of the communities that are in play or that may be impacted with this storm as it continues to move off to the east about 35 miles per hour. Right now, basically around Emory and Henry College, the Glade Spring area around 521, Saltville around 524 into Smith County there, Chilhowie, 7 Mile Ford around 535, Adwolf around 539, Holston Hills Golf Course around 543, Marion about 546, and Attaway at about 551. It gives a pretty good feel for some of the towns, some of the communities, some of the areas that will be impacted. So if you live in Smith County, obviously you need to be in your safe place right now in the Emory and Henry College area, Glade Spring, Meadowview, and then as it moves into Smith County, you also need to be in your safe place as well. How long is the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Smith County? So we're talking still at least another probably 45 minutes yet before it would be through Smith County as well. So it's not necessarily something that is going to end once it moves out of Washington County, Virginia, here over the next half hour. But for sure, the Glade Spring area from Emory and Henry College, Meadowview, up to the Smith County line here over the next few minutes. That's where the storm is. And here's a look at exit 24 here along Interstate 81. You can look at a couple of more of our VDOT cameras, not particularly a clear view there, but this is here when it pops in streaming. We'll have mile marker 20 along Interstate 81, just south of the hospital. Our stream not particularly, there we go. Here's a little better look at Interstate 81, exit 29, near Glade Spring. The storm not quite yet on to the Glade Spring area, but it's getting very close. I'm assuming this is looking south on Interstate 81, Interstate southbound, looking that direction. So you can see the dark, ominous-looking clouds that are beginning to approach the Glade Spring area, which is right here. Of course, the highway runs parallel with it as well. So around exit 24, up toward Glade Spring, and then toward the Chilhowie area, that's the area that will be under the more dangerous part of the storm as we. Okay, all right, so Ashley, our producer, is telling me that we do have, did you say some video? This is west of the Virginia Highlands Airport. You can see the video here, so definitely the grass and the trees are definitely being blown around as you would expect with a severe thunderstorm. Doesn't necessarily look like anything that is tornadic at this point that we see, but certainly take a look at that. There's some strong winds. I mean, even if we end with just some peak gusts of around 50 or 60 or 65 miles per hour, to say we're probably looking at some gusts around 40 or 50 right here where that video is coming from. That can do damage to trees at the very least. But was that viewer video? Okay, so when it's safe to do so, you can upload your video to our Chime In app, WCYB.com/chime in. That was some pretty good video, but thankfully we're not looking at least we have not received any reports yet of any significant damage. We've not even had a report of a funnel cloud or tornado. That is good news to this point, but with that rotation that we've been tracking really all through the up and down Washington County, Virginia, from near when it started developing that circulation near Bendota, came through North Bristol, and then now continues through the eastern part of Washington County, Virginia. So this is our latest wind scan from Power 5 Doppler radar. Perhaps not as notable the circulation, but again we are also talking due to the curvature of the Earth as the radar beam goes farther from the radar site, it gets higher up in the atmosphere. So when we get in this part of our viewing area, the beam is pretty high up in the storm, so maybe not seeing all of the mid-level or the low-level circulation that still could be evident. But
I just got a report, Dave, from Colonial Heights from that other storm of some large hail, up to ping pong ball sized hail.
And that's this storm right here that you got on there.
Yeah, so I wanted to get...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we do have a picture apparently of that on Max 2. So there is what you're talking about, David, right from Colonial Heights?
Yes. So that is some significant hail that is causing that can cause damage. So that storm is now over the Tri-Cities Airport. So let's go back over to Max 1. And so that storm is over Sullivan County, moving into Bluntville right now, Piney Flats, and heading toward Bristol. So some large hail being reported. And we're going to go live to Northeast State. Look at that. So the rain's coming down heavy. I don't see any hail bouncing off the ground there, but we're kind of on the back. It looks like on the back edge of the storm, or on the edge of the storm, I should say. So an update on this cell, and we're over Sullivan County, and also for Bristol, Virginia, a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:45 for quarter-sized hail and gusts to 60 miles an hour. So that has been confirmed, and we can see some of the largest hail around Bluntville and moving north and east. So let's track this storm too, since we know that it is causing some damage. And we'll see looks like this will be moving into Bristol as well over the next 30 minutes. Moving toward Bristol Regional Medical Center by 5:22, Still Creek Park 5:24, downtown 5:27, exit 7 5:35. So again, severe thunderstorm warning, no tornado warning, but high winds and hail. And we've had, again, that confirmed report of hail from this storm, Dave.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to kind of point out is that this little line of storms here that is not being warned for, that's pretty close. If we zoom in, that's pretty much right, looks like over Damascus, Virginia. Just came across South Holston Lake. There's Laurel Marina, and then it extends towards Shady Valley in Johnson County, and then to near Sadie along Highway 91 in northern Carter County. So this storm looks pretty impressive. It's got that kind of bow signature to it. So while there is no severe thunderstorm warning with that storm presently, there could still be some strong gusty winds. And sometimes, David, we don't maybe think a whole lot about when severe thunderstorm warnings, they can be as dangerous as tornado warnings, because a 60 or 70 mile an hour wind gust is as strong as your weaker end, lower end tornado strength. So especially with the history of these, sometimes the garden variety severe thunderstorms that we get are very localized, and they don't cause as much concern on a widespread basis. But since we have so many of these little lines of thunderstorms moving across the viewing area, even though we may not be highlighting a storm over you that does not have a warning for it, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be in a place of safety in an event that we'd get a strong severe wind gust with it. And that's why I wanted to point out this activity stretching from near Damascus through Shady Valley and toward the northern part of Carter County, heading over the mountains right now. But we still have that tornado warning in effect for the eastern part of Washington County, Virginia, and the severe thunderstorm warning continues into Smith County and extends into Tazewell County as well through 6 o'clock. And right now here is the wind velocity. And David, still at least some rotation still being seen right here on our latest scan from the Power 5 Doppler radar.
Yeah, this is still an intense storm, likely producing some damaging winds along the path, but could produce a tornado at any time with that amount of rotation. So let's pull out and show you all the warnings that we have at this hour. We actually have some new warnings coming into Hawkins County, so we'll zoom into that, and also the cell that's over Sullivan County. Let's go from west to east. We're going to start here with the cell that's near Morristown. And so that storm is moving now more to the east-northeast. And so this severe thunderstorm warning includes Rogersville.
David, I think we have Kristen Kwan in our storm tracker right now up live, I believe. Is this?
Yeah,
okay. And this is in the Abingdon area. I believe she does not have Mike, right? She does not. I'm sorry, this is Bristol. All right. And this looks like we do have some efforts to, at least somebody's cleaning something up. I believe we have a tree down. I'm not exactly sure where this is. If somebody could tell me where we are looking. Okay, right off Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard on the Virginia side, which obviously pretty darn close to where we're broadcasting right here. Storm has since passed, but apparently we do have a tree down. I thought we did have some video of that tree, but I'm not sure. If we get that, we'll come back to this, but obviously we do have a police presence, and traffic seems to be moving slow at this point ahead of this police car on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, but it doesn't seem like traffic is stopped at this point. But I would imagine we do have some kind of tree damage or some kind of tree down.
Yeah, we'll check back on that in a second. Let's go back over to Max 1, Graphics 1, the storm moving into Glade Springs. So there's a live look from the VDOT camera, and you can see the visibility is dropping as the wind is picking up and the rain is picking up. So there's a live look as the storm is rolling through Glade Spring. So if you know anybody in this area, be sure to let them know about the storm already. But you can see the visibility continuing to drop as that storm is pushing east into Glade Spring right now, Dave.
And some of those high-profile vehicles, can succumb to thunderstorm wind gusts like the tractor trailers and so forth. So it's a dangerous ride now on this section of Interstate 81, moving through eastern Washington County, Virginia, and in very near the Smith County line as well. So you can kind of panning the camera around.
Yeah, VDOT's moving the camera around. So now we're looking, there's the Petro stop. So they may be looking for, let's switch back over to radar. So we're looking toward that storm. And still having the rotation near Emory and Henry College right now. Yep. And it's actually shifting a little bit to the south, Dave.
Yeah. So we have been saying near and north of Interstate 81, but and of course Interstate 81 kind of moves in a northerly direction. So that's probably why we're seeing the circulation of the little couplet here shifting a little bit south of Interstate 81. But it still is producing potentially a tornado at this time, and like we've been stressing through the course of the past half hour, 45 minutes, that we have not been able to confirm, thankfully, at this point, that we actually have a tornado on the ground, or a tornado that has touched down. But the seriousness of the situation is that we want to make sure that you are in your safe place as this storm continues to move into the eastern part of Washington County, Virginia. Right now, as we mentioned, near Glade Spring, and we'll, within the next 15 minutes to half an hour be pushing into Chilhowie. So some of the communities there, we got the Glade Spring truck stop, which is where it currently is right now. Glade Spring, Fleet, we got Love's Mill, Chilhowie, 7 Mile Ford, Holston Mill. Of course, now we're talking as we go into Smith County there, but here's another look at one of our cameras from the Glade Spring area, Interstate 81, exit 29. That's the exit, PJ, is it not?
Yeah.
That was hit hard with the EF3 tornado in April 2011. So we're thankfully not looking at that right now happening, but the dangerous part of this storm is really right over exit 29 right now in the Glade Spring area.
There's actually another area of rotation.
Right south here,
yeah,
Lodi,
to the south, yeah.
Which is south of where the other little area of rotation is. So heading on Highway 91 toward Lodi, this area of concern is worth mentioning. As David pointed out, we could be looking at maybe a couple of places that we need to keep an eye on here over the next 15 minutes to a half an hour.
That's on the southern edge of the cell where we would be concerned.
Exactly.
You know, to the north in the purple, that's more the hail threat. And on the southern end of these cells is where we're concerned about tornadoes.
And that may be some new development, but it is within the tornado warning. So that it's not that it hasn't been in the tornado warning, but near Lodi, along Highway or Route 91 in Washington County, Virginia, really from that point through DeBusk Mill up toward the Glade Spring area, heading toward Chilhowie. So right through this zone right here, Lodi, DeBusk Mill, Glade Spring, Chilhowie, and this area advancing eastward now at about 35 miles per hour. That's where our potential tornado is at this point in time.
And it's still at this point only a severe thunderstorm warning for Smith County, so we'll see what the Weather Service does there. Let's quickly recap some new warnings. First, the warning that's in effect for Sullivan County, this cell that's over Bristol right now for quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour gust. That's over Bristol and Gray Acres. That's in effect till 5:45. And then a brand new warning. This includes basically all of Greene County, all of Washington County, Tennessee, and also Unicoi County. So that's in place till 6 p.m. for quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. So that's for the cell that's still in far western Greene County, but they're giving everybody a heads up on this storm.
And David, I do believe we have a couple things that we can go to while people, of course, are taking shelter in advance of these clusters of storms that we're talking about. I believe we're going to have some viewer pictures right here, and folks, if you can just tell me where these are. Okay, we don't have, we do not have the actual location, but okay, one of many similar storms, and I'm sure this is a site that has been visible across many communities, even though at this point we do not have our. Okay, on Randall Street in Bristol. Would this be where Kristen is? Now, I understand that we have Kristen who can actually hear us and can maybe tell us a little bit about what's going on right there. Not ready. All right. Well, just let me know when we can go to her, and we will definitely do that. But here is the picture of that tree that came down on Randall Street. Okay, we do have Kristen Kwan right now, and Kristen, just tell us a little bit about what you have seen here in Bristol, Virginia. Okay, maybe we do not have her after all. But we do have, obviously, the cleaning up there at that location in Bristol, Virginia. I think this is the same where we've got the viewer picture, or the picture of that tree that that gentleman right there, the city crew working to get all the tree debris off the road. So that situation seems to be pretty well under control there. Let's go ahead and go back to the storm now. We can, obviously track several storms now moving across Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia. Some of the new dangers that are beginning to push in are now coming in from the western part of our viewing area, David. These have been producing severe weather back toward Knoxville and the Smoky Mountains in that area, but now they are pushing into our viewing area of Greene County, also Hawkins County. You can see stretching from about St. James, crossing 11E, then up toward Interstate 81, and then toward Bulls Gap. Those severe thunderstorm warnings, which extend all the way from here, all the way up into Washington County, Tennessee, and that does include the Johnson City area, extends into Unicoi County along Interstate 26. So from ETSU, Johnson City, Irwin, just shy of Flag Pond, it looks like. That warning is for these storms, which are still a fair distance away, but they're moving quite quickly, David.
Yeah, these are moving faster. These are moving at 50 miles an hour. So as we put the storm track on this, we'll give you a heads up. This will hit Greenville and Tusculum around 5:37, 5:42, Limestone around 5:51, Lamar around 6 o'clock, and if it holds together in Johnson City about 6:11, seeing some strong winds with this sail and also some hail, looks like, especially over eastern Cott County, and that's not far from St. James.
All right, and while you're talking about that, David, I've been told we do have some video of some hail that has recently fallen. Did you say Bluff City, right? Bluntville in Sullivan County, okay. And so pretty small, maybe pea-sized hail, it looks like, coming down here at the home of this viewer. But we have had hail reports up to the size of, $50, have we not? I think we had a couple reports as they were coming in earlier this afternoon into the viewing area of $50 size hail. I believe it was along the Hawkins and Hancock County line near Treadway, and there was also a 70-mile-an-hour gust there. But here it is some great video, and we just thank you for sharing that with us. Sometimes your weather story is the best way that we can get this information to you as it's happening. And so we do have now Kristen Kwan in Bristol, Virginia, here live. Kristen, looks like we did have some tree damage, but it also looks like that the crews have gotten that taken care of a little bit.
Yeah, crews are working right now on that tree that is down. Let me step out of the way so you can see. We are standing here on Martin Luther King in Bristol, Virginia, near the West Mary Street red light, and you can see this large tree that has come down, but crews are on scene right now, just sweeping this up, and it looks like now they have opened up a line of traffic so that traffic is moving through here, but lots of crews trying to get this tree cleaned up so that they can, get more cars through here. So just some of the damage that we're seeing around here in Bristol, and you can see that worker right there sweeping some of that up, but just a really large tree that came down here in Bristol, Virginia on Martin Luther King. But we're going to continue to ride around in the storm tracker and bring you the latest on this damage.
Thanks, Kristen. And it looks like, the stoplights, as I could see there, I believe you said that was West Mary Street and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. It looked like traffic lights were operating, so at least at that intersection, it doesn't appear that we lost power because of that tree coming down. I'm sure we do have some power outages, though, across our viewing area with these strong storms that continue to kind of feed off a rather vigorous storm that has been producing severe weather, starting in the plains. And this is the time of year that we see this kind of severe weather oftentimes. And unfortunately, we're getting it tonight. And some of those storms not only producing some damaging thunderstorm wind gusts, but as you can see, that tornado warning continues in effect. The red polygon that is highlighted in Washington County, Virginia, the tornado warning continues here. So certainly the reflectivity, you can see that darker shade, that purple, indicating, strong updraft, tall thunderstorm clouds, and that usually tells us that there's probably some hail underneath that as well. In fact, this would support, I would think, up to quarter-size hail as it continues to push across eastern Washington County, Virginia, into Smith County, Virginia, especially near Glade Spring and right along the border of Smith County. It still looks like, do we still have that second little rotation still?
It looks like it's more elongated. It doesn't look like it's more of a tornado threat now. It looks like more of a damaging wind, straight line wind. So I think that's why the tornado warning has not been extended into Smith County at this time. So I'm not seeing any strong rotation, but just some strong winds. I say just strong winds, but 60-mile-an-hour winds going in a straight line will cause damage. So intense cell over Glade Spring, moving into Chilhowie and towards 7 Mile Ford. So it is a severe thunderstorm for winds of 60 and some quarter-sized hail. And the cell that's moving into Greenville has some high winds with it. The most intense part of that storm is moving toward Camp Creek. So
And we do have a viewer picture now from Luke Morris. No, actually, I'm not sure if this is Luke Morris. It's from, you said Chilhowie. Correct. Where is this at? Where is this? Colonial Heights. Oh, I'm way off the mark here. We're in Tennessee with this picture. I apologize for that. So this is in Colonial Heights, in western Sullivan County. Some hail coming down, and I would say that's maybe penny-sized, nickel-sized hail. Okay, and now I understand we have another tree down in Bristol, I believe Bristol, Virginia, and we're going to go back to Kristen Kwan with an update on that. Oh, we just got the shot. All right. So, what's that? What's that? Okay, and so what is this? Is this on what? This is on Martin Luther King, same area. So we actually have two tree incidents. Is that right? We had the one where Kristen was. And so then this is the one that's on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, right? So they're actually. Okay, so actually we have two trees down that had been causing some traffic issues in Bristol, Virginia, and the rain coming back down there as well. But now we're back to Power 5 Doppler radar.
And a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for far northern Johnson County and far southeastern Washington County, Virginia, including Damascus. This in effect till 6 o'clock for hail quarter-sized and some gusts to 60 miles an hour. So it was that the part of that cell you were talking about earlier, Dave, has now gone severe. And then the intense storm that's over Chilhowie, severe thunderstorm warning there. So we're still watching for possible rotation, but as I check the latest scan on Power 5 Doppler radar, it still does not. I don't see a tornado signature on the storm right now. So hopefully no tornado, but still producing some high winds and some hail. And then we also have storms moving into Rogersville and moving into Greenville currently. And the most intense part of that storm in the southern part of the county. We'll put a storm track on this one. It's moving faster. And there comes the latest scans. This will aid in giving you an accurate time of these storms moving northeast toward Johnson City. So moving into Tusculum the next couple of minutes. To Limestone 5:50, Jonesboro about 6 o'clock, and into Johnson City about 6:10 if it holds on its current course at this time, Dave. So we still have several warnings. That still had that one tornado warning for far eastern Washington County, Virginia. The others are severe thunderstorms.
And one notable difference between this initial severe thunderstorm complex that's moving through Washington County, northern Johnson County, and into Smith and Tazewell counties is that you pointed out correctly and wisely that these storms are picking up some steam. And so even though you look at radar and you say, you're in Johnson City or Jonesboro or Sulphur Springs, you say that storm's now over Greenville, it's going to be a ways of time before it gets here. But when you're talking a 50-mile-an-hour speed, forward direction of these storms, that can be on you pretty quickly. And that's why Okay, and so folks that live in the southern part of our metro, you know, we got Irwin, we've got Johnson City, we've got Gray, we've got, you know, up into near Fall Branch. These storms are going to be on you very quickly, and we'll have the likelihood of some strong winds. That's almost a certainty, and some of those winds might be strong enough to produce some wind damage of up to, you know, giving an estimate up to around 60 miles an hour. That's kind of the baseline for a severe thunderstorm warning. 58-mile-an-hour winds and 1-inch diameter or quarter-size hail. That kind of is the baseline on how the National Weather Service issues severe thunderstorms. So when we say 60-mile-an-hour winds, we don't know for sure if it's going to be 60, but those are the winds that are estimated that could come with this line of storms as it continues to move through Greene County and right near the North Carolina border right here. So running along Route 70 toward Camp Creek and right over the Greenville area, Tusculum. We do have a camera there at Tusculum University, which will, I'm sure, show some pretty heavy rain coming in very shortly, if it already doesn't. But that does extend up toward Interstate 81 near Exit 30 as well, and then into Hawkins County as well. But I do believe now that we have some video from Bristol, Tennessee, from these storms as they were coming through within the past few minutes. We're going to show you some video here. Looks like here on a back porch, perhaps, looks like a hot tub, maybe. Maybe not a good time now to be enjoying that. But Susie Arney, thank you for forwarding that video to us. This is from Bristol, Tennessee. Some small hail coming through within the past little while, and some heavy rain and some gusty winds as well. If we can, Teresa Carter is also with us, meteorologist Teresa Carter, and she, I believe, I'm not sure. Maybe, Teresa, are you moving that camera? No, you're not.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll load it up here in a second.
But Teresa Carter here, we haven't been able to hear from her, but she is busy keeping an eye on all of our Facebook pictures that might come in, storm reports, chime-in reports, and so we just want to let you know that she is working behind the scenes very hard to get as much information to us as possible as well. But the video that David has right now, and he's moving the camera, trying to get it positioned so that we can get a view from the storms approaching Tusculum University on our Ashley camera network. Still not raining, as we were pointing out on Power 5 Doppler radar, but some ominous-looking storm clouds are beginning to approach. This is the storm that's right over Greenville currently, and
this is looking toward Camp Creek. You can see that the storm. You can see, like you said, lightning there.
Right.
You see
definitely some turbulent skies.
Yeah, the rain moving in, obscuring the view. All right, and that is. I will come back to this here in a little bit, because I'm sure this will be showing something. Well, this is ominous. This is telling our viewers in Greene County what's heading toward Tusculum University. But we also have a picture now of some hail in the Kingsport region. This picture is from Kingsport. The hail is pretty small, but it accumulated here. Maybe wind-driven, perhaps a little bit here, but it has kind of drifted slightly up next to this retaining wall, I believe that is, or maybe up to the side of the home there. It looks like we might have a basement window in view there. But that is the nature of some of the storms that continue to race across our area. We had that one picture of some, it looked like it was ping pong size hail. That seemed to be the largest. Where again was that, David? That was in Colonial Heights.
So that was in Colonial Heights. Here's that, looks like maybe penny to nickel size hail, but the largest size hail that we've had so far appears to be out of Colonial Heights, and that looked to be about ping. Oh, this is. But we had another one though. But this is in Colonial Heights as well. But the one that was a little bit bigger than that. But that's okay.
Yes. Let's go back to the live camera. The storm moving through Greenville right now. And moving it toward Tusculum.
Yeah. So here's Tusculum University, and so we're talking within a few minutes. I'm sure we're going to be having some intense rains coming down. Most likely some strong gusty winds. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Greene County as well as Washington County from these storms currently that are moving really from, Rogersville had its bouts with some stormy weather already, and it looks like stretching from near Greenville, there's where our camera is right here, and this is moving up toward the Limestone area and Telford and South Central. These areas are going to have these storms. There's Viking Mountain, and the storms are moving to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour, so this will take it up toward Rocky Fork and Irwin and Unicoi and Okolona, and eventually into the Johnson City area as well. As we get a live look here from Tuskegee University on our Doppler radar. David's putting that on there. If we can, after you get that positioned, maybe take a look at some of these storms.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's go. You pull it up full here. This is hit now. And
there we go.
Yeah, so you can't see it.
That's pretty dramatic from what we had maybe about 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So the wind is definitely coming down with this storm as it moves across the university here along Irwin Highway.
Okay, we'll check out that video here in just a second, but you can see that just how strong. We can show you the radar, and that tells us a lot.
Yeah, put that back up there. I mean, there's the live look, and I know you're trying to get both on at the same time. That was pretty cool. But there's the line of storms that we just showed you live from Tuskegee University in Greene County, and this is moving toward Horse Creek and also the Twin Creek Golf Course, and continues.
Yeah, there we go. So we can see both at the same time there. So moving northeast, you can expect what you're seeing there on the camera to be moving into Limestone very soon. Let's go ahead and put another storm track on this. It's hitting a Viking Mountain. And moving to the northeast pretty quickly, about 50 miles an hour. So moving into Limestone by 5:54, Bright Zoo 5:57, Telford 6 o'clock, Jonesboro about 6:05, and into Johnson City still around that 6:10 time frame or so. So that's the intense cell there. Now we have passed 5:45, so that means that the tornado warning has expired now for Washington County, Virginia. So we no longer have any tornado warnings in place for the area, but we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for Smith County.
And I'm pretty confident we got some hail likely falling from that storm along Interstate 81, Lee Highway area of Smith County right now.
Yeah.
Right near north, probably maybe up to quarter-sized hail, perhaps even a little bit larger.
And it's heading toward Hungry Mother State Park. So if you know anybody in the park, let them know a hailstorm is moving toward Hungry Mother State Park right now.
And you can see on the left side of your television screen, this picture looks like from Mayor Farnham. Must have been up in Abingdon. This is a picture as those storms were coming across Washington County, Virginia, when we had the tornado warning originally issued for Washington County, Virginia. But as you pointed out, David, the dangerous part of that storm now in Smith County. And even though we do not have a tornado warning, we do have a very strong storm, intense storm, moving through Smith County. And it still looks like we got some decent rotation. So I would still assume that this storm could have a tornado with it, David.
It wouldn't hurt to treat this like a tornado warning and to head to the lowest floor of your home and away from windows, because this isn't a very intense storm with likely a large hail, very heavy winds, frequent lightning, and we are seeing some rotation around Adwolf and 7 Mile Ford, and that's moving toward Marion. So again, no tornado warning, but in the severe thunderstorm warning text, it does say a tornado is possible. So it could spin up at any time. So we're going to keep a close eye on that cell So
I mean, that's pretty intense right there, right? Over 7 Mile Forward.
That is very
Interstate
high
81.
activity.
And like you said, Marion, it's at your doorstep, and there is actually the hail tracker, which kind of gives an indication of where the hail has been, and it's moving right along Interstate 81. But if you look at the hail legend there, we've got some colors there indicating maybe up to quarter to $half size hail potentially with this storm as it moves across Smith County, and like you said, it's getting very close to Marion, Virginia, very close to Hungry Mother State Park. All right, so the storm that just came through Glade Spring, we do now have some video of that storm as well. This is from Taylor Pruitt. I want to thank Taylor for sharing this video, but I mean, that is some ominous looking storm clouds there, David.
Yeah.
Even though we have not had any reports of a tornado, certainly the turbulent clouds give us a feel for what these storms have been carrying along with them, really across so many counties during the course of the afternoon and during the evening as well. And I'm grateful thus far, knock on wood, that we have not had any reports of a tornado touching down. We did have some trees down in Bristol, Virginia, and Tennessee. Yeah, David, you got something.
Just got a report of quarter-sized hail in Greenville, and that happened at 5:42. So the cell that's moving through Tusculum and getting close to Limestone has confirmed hail with it.
And what did you say, quarter-sized hail?
Yeah, 1 inch diameter, quarter-sized hail. That is enough to cause damage. There's a live look on the Tusculum University camera, or the Ashley Camera Network, and that is part of the cell that is affecting Greene County. So let's take a closer look at this cell. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Greene, Hancock, Hawkins counties, and that's until 6:30.
And it looks like those storm warnings also extend into Lee County and Scott County, Virginia. I mean, we just have these storms that just kind of been evolving and developing and just clusters of them. It's reminiscent of that night when we had all those supercells coming at us. Thankfully, these are not tornado-producing storms for the most part. We haven't had any indication that's the case, but I can remember that night back in 2011, David. You were here. We covered that. It was just one round of storms after another, and this is certainly a whole different animal than that, but it certainly looks somewhat similar in the sense that we have had all of these different cells come up the valley from Chattanooga and Knoxville, one right after another, and that's why we've been trying to give you continuous coverage and update you on the dangers of these storms as they have been affecting so many people and really at the same time as well.
Yeah, so the strongest winds with the Greene County storm is around south central, 60 to 70 mile an hour winds around Horse Creek and south central. And of course, some of those communities were also hit back in 2011. But we also have some strong winds moving into Rogersville. So the bright colors indicates those strong winds, not rotating, but still some very strong straight line winds. And let's take a look at this. Yep, 60, 70 miles an hour, 74 mile an hour winds at the radar level. But oftentimes in this kind of setup, we get some of those gusts come down to the ground.
And especially when you have storms that move as quickly as these are, that helps to produce some forward momentum a lot of times with the winds as well. So just a lot of things coming together. We got those strong winds, as you mentioned, at radar level. But with these intense rains that are coming down, you can get a lot of that wind energy that's transported down to the surface, and the end result are strong winds. Here's that storm now bearing down on Hungry Mother State Park, really stretching from near Marion to Adwolf. The danger moving out of Chilhowee from that cell. There are others potentially coming in, but from this storm in Smith County, you can see where that hail likely is produced, I would say quarter size or larger seems possible at least. We don't have any confirmed reports of that, but certainly the veil product there was showing a lot of updraft with these storms and the potential there as well for some strong winds continuing right now in the Marion area.
Yeah,
of Smith County.
Still some rotation there, right over Marion. So even though there's not a tornado warning, I would treat this as a tornado warning, and to get away from windows and get to the lowest floor of your home. So we're going to look live now from the Bank of Marion. So we'll be seeing those skies get dark, and the
I do believe
rain's coming down there.
Yeah, and going to be coming down in sheets shortly downtown Marion as the.
But Hungry Mother State Park getting hail. I'm concerned about that purple could be some pretty large hail and heavy rain,
right,
and also lightning.
Yeah, I mean that's a very significant, intense thunderstorm cell now moving through the central part of Smith County and the northern part of Smith County, right near Marion, Virginia. Hungry Mother State Park, standing up toward Chatham Hill as well. So there's really kind of two areas that are really of concern right now, and those storms now moving through the Damascus, Conrock area, southeast part of Washington County, Virginia, up toward around Laurel, Bloomery in Johnson County. That cell there, not as intense as the Smith County cell, but there is a severe thunderstorm warning, mainly for just east of Damascus of Washington County, toward Conrock, and then the storm really blows up in its intensity in Smith County and also Tazewell County. So that's area one, but we're also seeing a new, well, it's not really a new line, we've been talking about this, but a separate, but also really important and potentially dangerous line of storms that has warnings with it extending all the way from Lee and Scott County in Virginia through Hancock, Hawkins, Greene, southwest Sullivan, Washington, and Unicoi counties in northeast Tennessee. And those warnings are in effect until 6:15 and 6:30 respectively.
Yeah, so we have three different warnings over northeast Tennessee and also into southwest Virginia. So the northern one into western Lee County is till 6:15. The one over Rogersville is till 6:30, and Greenville and Johnson City until 6. I also want to mention that we are going to go back to regular programming on Fox 39, but we are going to be staying on here on News 5 WCYB. So if you're watching severe weather coverage on Fox 39, join us over on News 5 WCYB. We'll be going back to regular programming there soon.
All right, now I do believe we have some viewer video. I believe it's Kingsport, and it's Kingsport, and it's hail from the Kingsport area, and you can see, again, this is of the smaller variety, the kind that we do like to see, but the wind has been strong with these storms as well. Lightning strikes, everything has been with these storms. Including the small hail that we see here from the video. Kingsport is where this is from Brooke Williamson. So Brooke, thank you for taking the time to share this video, as it was safe to do so, and where we get a lot of our pictures, and one of the best ways to get video, pictures, storm reports to us is through our WCYB.com/chime-in app, and very easy to submit those photos. And of course, you can always get the latest weather information and storm alerts with our Storm Track 5 weather app as well, to take the Storm Track 5 team with you wherever you go. When you're not able to watch us on TV or perhaps on your laptop at home, you can get the latest on our weather app as well, our Storm Track 5 mobile app as well. So as we continue to track those dangerous storms now that are moving from Greene County into Washington County, Tennessee, you've got a couple of wind spots. Well, the wind that you've put on there, kind of around the Rogersville area and between Limestone and South Central.
Yeah, those are the two areas that look to have the strongest winds right now. Some high winds around Rogersville, South Central, Limestone, moving northeast toward Telford and Lamar, and the storm that's over Rogersville is moving north and east through the rest of Hawkins County towards Burgoynesville. So we're looking at the wind now on Doppler radar. We'll switch back over to the mode that you see most of the time, showing that heavy rain. So the warnings are being extended now. So we do have a warning that is in place for the same storms, but it's in place for Carter, Greene, Unicoi, and Washington counties, including Elizabethton and Johnson City, until 6:45. Same hazards, quarter-sized tail, wind gust around 60 miles an hour. So that is the newest severe thunderstorm warning that includes more of the metro area, but it's from that storm that we showed you live, moving through Tusculum not too long ago, continuing to move to the northeast, Dave. So most concerned about high winds with this, but some hail possible as well.
Yeah, and we do have some of our camera network partners on our Ashley Camera Network in Johnson City and Elizabethton, and those areas which are dry currently will be able to bring you some live look from those storms as they come into the Johnson City, Elizabethton area as well. We do have also a camera in Jonesboro also. We may try to get that up as well at the old Chucky Depot. Teresa, I'm not sure if you could bring that up perhaps on Max 2, and we can perhaps get that. That would get into the Johnson City Metro a little bit before we'd see them on our Town View camera or our Holiday Inn camera. And then, of course, it would be moving into Elizabethton after that. Got that nice camera view from the Elizabethton Chamber of Commerce. But still, getting hammered, David, in Smith County.
Yeah, still some large hail. Marion, northward to Hungry Mother State Park at this time. At least nickel-sized or quarter-sized. That might be an underestimate looking at the radar, looking at the reflectivity there.
So if we maybe put on, can you put the Marion camera on right now from the Bank of Marion, looking on the Main Street area of downtown Marion? It's probably coming down in sheets.